Check 1 2.
Yo, I got something to
Check
say.
1 2.
And when I say it, you better listen up. I'm Frank, the host. I got an amazing crew in here with me right now in the C180 studio. This is IGSS. And this is Kings of Hustle. Can y'all tell everybody your name real quick?
My name is Law Collins, the CEO of the corporation.
Mike Crabb, one of the life coaches, motivational speakers.
Eddie Sheku, Executive Promotional Director, aka EPD.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Cool. What y'all got going on?
All right. So before we go ahead and begin, I actually would like to announce just us as the Hustlecast, just so we can go ahead and get along with this. So what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Hustlecast, a podcast created through the KOTH, a.k.a. the Kings of the Hustle, to connect and discuss the roads to success and the ways of life. We are your hosts, Law Collins, Mike Crabb, and Eddie Shaku, coming through to inspire and connect with you. And today we actually have a very special guest here, Frank Lee, another podcast host.
That's what's up.
And he's coming here to come talk to us a little bit about different fundamentals of life and also ask us a couple different questions. So,
Most def. Really excited. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yo, this is a big deal. I honestly, starting this, I really want to connect with different people, have real conversation, what's really going on in the community and our culture. And so this is a big deal right now. Like, this is a huge deal. Real talk. So we first of all, I know your people, they know, but my people really don't. I don't know if they don't. They know, if they don't know. But if they do know. Whatever. I want to know more about Kings of Hustle. Please tell us what's going on, how you guys started. I'll tell you what I know. Hosting Girani Coffee House. Shouts out to Girani Coffee House. Mike was there with some other people. What was it?
Positive Lifestyle.
Positive Lifestyle. Shouts out to them. They were selling the headbands and hats, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he gets up and does some poetry, and then poetry, right?
Yeah.
See, I got, okay.
Yeah.
And then my man Law was here, and Law is serious, I'm finding out this guy's 20 years old, very serious. Like he says, he's CEO already, 20 years old. That's a big deal. But his face lit up, man. He came across the room and he was like, I'm gonna connect with this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? And he was all business. He's always been that way. And so I saw you guys connect at that moment. A couple weeks later, I saw that you guys had a podcast, and I'm like, oh, they mean business,
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. You guys don't just talk about it, but you actually are about it. You're about that game. And I respect you guys for that. All of you guys. I'm looking at them with all of y'all,
Yeah.
So tell us about Kings of Hustle. Tell us
well,
everything.
the Kings of the Hustle is a creative investment corporation, and basically what we started off doing was we were first network connections. We thought to ourselves that what's the biggest way for us to be able to make a difference? What's a problem that we need to solve? And one of the top problems in the world is that people aren't investing in themselves anymore. They invest into materials, whether it be money or systems or whatever. And no one's really trying to figure out what they really want to do with their life. And we figured the only way for you to really have a fulfilled life, and not only that, but make a difference in the world, is to find your passion first. And directly afterwards, we want to help you through the next steps, taking it forward to help you figure out what your future is going to be like. So we changed from network connections to creative investments by, one, life coaching you, helping you figure out what your passion is. And directly afterwards, we can have you go through two different options. One, you go through the execution where now you have your passion, you get to decide where you want to go with that. But one of the top ways for if you don't want to necessarily go to college is entrepreneurship. Build your own business. And one of the top problems in the world is poverty and unemployment. Now, unemployment has decreased, but poverty has increased. And one of the reasons for that is because of minimum wages. And the only way that Americans, and not just Americans, but people worldwide will feel another sense of freedom is being financially free, creating their own careers, their own businesses. But the most efficient way to do that is through your passion. So we have now created a step to where you can now figure that out. Build your own business through your own passion.
Dope. I like that. Can you tell my people what can we do that? How can we do that step?
How can you go through the steps?
Yeah.
Well, figuring out your passion is, there are multiple different ways for you to figure it out. But one of the easiest ways we can suggest going towards that is look for 3 things that you like. 3 things that you love doing. You can see yourself getting up every single day doing it without a problem. Directly afterwards, now ask yourself the question, does it make you happy? Does it make a difference? And can it make you income?
That's good stuff.
If it can make you all 3 of those, then you have a potential passion. You do have a potential passion. It's something that you can literally create a lifestyle with.
Like that.
Because the passion should be able to get you up.
Yeah.
You should feel a fire inside you, driving you to move forward.
Right.
If it makes a difference, it doesn't just help you, it helps another person. It brings a higher level of fulfillment out there. And that idea spreads to other people, having them think of the same idea. I want to make a difference.
Cool. So my question to you, because you did all the talking right now, where does it all come from? Like, what made you want to talk? What made you want to do this for people and yourself? But why?
I guess growing up, I eventually realized that materials weren't necessary. The greatest feeling in the world is making a difference, helping somebody else.
Yeah.
And on top of that, one of the top things that I despise in the world, and I do despise, even though that is a very harsh word, is cycles. In history class, throughout high school, throughout middle school and elementary school, we have repeated the same cycles over and over again.
Right.
And no matter how technologically advanced we get, we continuously do it, and it's because of the materials that we do it. We don't invest into passion, we invest into systems.
Right.
And for me, I disagree with that. I don't like it. The purpose in my life is to destroy those cycles and to rebuild into something greater. I want to see what happens when when people push themselves to their fullest potential. I was a personal trainer before all of this had even started, and the best feeling in the world was seeing what happens when a client would reach their max and then automatically ask, what's next? And I think everyone in our community, all around, can do the same thing. They have the potential. They have greatness inside them. They just need to know and believe it.
I like that.
No.
That's good. Mike, that's good.
What's good, man? I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be alive, man. Supporting this guy. I mean, I remember telling him if I had the wisdom and drive that he had at 20, I'd be a CEO myself right now. It's remarkable, man. And so, though I may be more seasoned in life itself, I'm so comfortable being led in this instance by his drive. I mean, he doesn't maybe know it, but just seeing his determination to make this clear vision that he has a reality motivates me in ways I can't even say, because I thought I was a dreamer and a daydreamer and a visualizer, and then I met this guy. And then I said, I'm not even seeing my own dream clear enough. I'm not even seeing my own passion clear enough. I don't,
That's true.
So his clarity shined a light on my murkiness.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm just happy to be on board, man, and making this thing, getting this train on the right rails, so it could really take off. And pick up some people along the way.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Like Coach, that's what
I
you said.
appreciate that.
That's what you're saying. You like Coach, and I will say that, Law, like legit, you run it tight, man. At 20 years old, I'm telling you, you got it. What I did not have at your age, because I had the vision and I can make things happen. I was a restaurant manager at the age of 19 years old. I have a bar. Okay, it's illegal in the state of Virginia. I was killing it. I had my own townhouse, had my own car, all that stuff like that. when I didn't believe in the dream and the vision that I had, and I didn't make that step. I had a whole business plan drawn up and everything, but didn't make the step. You feel me? I didn't. I can go pull that thing up right now. Even like, this is crazy. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you. I will pull up after the show. I will pull up the business plan. The same year, the same name that I had, Just Salads. The same year, the same name, the same month, Just Salads opened up in New York. I didn't do it. Someone else did it. They opened up 3 restaurants within that year. I had it.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Didn't make the step. This is real stuff. This is real. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I'm looking out when I'm reading the article. I'm like, are you kidding me? And because I'm like, yo, this is a God-given, vision I'm getting right now.
Yeah.
Because no one's doing it. And they took it and ran with it. I don't know how they got it. I'm not saying it was mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't say they took it from me, but I'm just saying, like, they went to that next level. They made that step. And I wish that I would have made that step on that one. When it came to this, when it comes to this right here, man, I had to make this step. I was like, yo, like, this straight faith. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this. I came in here, the dude was like, yo, all right, you want to do it? Go ahead. I was like, don't tell me that. This time I'm not faking, like, I'm gonna go after it. I helped a lot of people along the way find their dreams and their passion. I've seen them in front of 70,000 people. I've always invested in people. Now it's time to invest in the things that I believe that I'm supposed to be doing. You feel me?
Yeah.
And what you're doing at 20 years old, even Eddie, like, y'all 20, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a big deal. By the time y'all get in your 30s, you guys should be helping a whole lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have, you could have whatever you want, but a whole lot of people, that's one thing I will say. I've helped out a whole lot of people. But, starting out with this business and moving forward, you'll have a lot more than we have. And not to say we don't have anything, but you get what I'm saying, though. Like,
Yeah.
so big ups to you on that. Big ups to you on that.
Good
Now,
Lord.
back to you real quick. Because I ain't want to kind of blow over that real quick.
No, that's fine.
But when it comes down to like life coaching and just very inspirational. I watch your live feeds when you put them up,
Sure.
your videos and stuff like
Appreciate
that.
it.
Where's that all come from?
The spirit, man.
Yeah? That's what's up.
When the spirit moves, I move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess a lot of it before was just, Michael trying to be Michael. I sought attention for the wrong reasons. But now, it's just, you said before that people learn through facts, perception, and what was the other one? What they're taught?
What they're taught, yeah.
So before, it was definitely just facts and perception, what I believe to be true, what I've been taught. I'm sorry, not facts and perception, facts and what I've been taught.
So,
Now, it's me developing my own perception that is influenced only by what's in here. Nothing outside. Nothing outside. Even the things I read, it's interpreted by something in here. So everything is filtered through something in here now. And now, so what I project out, what I perceive out, is through that which is. I call it spirit, call it soul, call it consciousness, call it awareness. But I live and breathe by it now. So yeah, that's where all that comes from. The videos, the little things I make. I just want to share what's in me to share.
dope.
And I read one place that the only way to strengthen something is to share it. Literally. Like, so if I have $1 million idea, but I never shared it with anyone, I probably wouldn't see one red penny. But if I tell you and you say, God dang, that's a good idea. And then you tell someone else, and then now collectively, people have this one, just like us three here, believing in the kings of the hustle. He had a vision and a dream, and he shared it with people. And me and Eddie were like, yeah, man, I see that too, because you see it so clearly. You help us see it. And so if I can share wisdom, insight, revelation, whatever it is that makes the truth a bit more simple or a bit more digestible, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Good stuff. You do poetry?
Poetry, yes. Poetry does me.
Yeah.
It ain't me writing. I'm just the scribe. Yeah, poetry is my way of expressing the inexpressible. It's my way of explaining the inexplicable. It's my longing for God, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And it just comes out in prose. So I don't know if I call it a gift. I don't call it a gift, actually. If it is called one, it's by someone else. It's just my way, though. I guess everyone has their way of expressing and being creative and whatever. I love words, man. I love them.
That's what's up.
I get high off of words, literally. So yeah, poetry, writing, storytelling, speaking. That's my thing.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Eddie, we gotta get you in here real quick. We met Eddie. I met Eddie a long time ago. What was it, a year or so ago?
Yeah, back doing the music things,
Yeah,
you
doing
know.
Music. You not doing music
No,
anymore?
I still am, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is like, okay, because I'm trying to find the right words, because every now what I'm trying to do is, before I speak on something, I want to make sure that I have all of my thoughts together on that thing, you know. So far in my life, it's like what Mike said. Something that I just realized is that a lot of what I used to talk about, even in my raps, or you know, what I thought was me, was actually what you might call it soul, spirit, whatever you call it. I call it a spirit. It was a spirit talking. As far as music wise, if I'm gonna keep it 100 with you right now, because like I consider myself a rapper, but at the same time I consider myself an artist first and foremost. You know, and you know that doesn't like now like me personally. I don't want to put myself in just one category as a being, you know, or this is what I am. It's just this, and then for the rest of my life, this is just what I am. Like over the course of time, I've learned a lot about myself, and slowly but surely, in me personally, I'm considering myself many things, you know, like because like artist is one of them, and then a rapper goes into that artist category because you can tell a story different ways. You can paint some, you know. I like painting, you know. Poetry, you know what I'm saying. You don't necessarily have to rap your poetry, you know what I'm saying. It is rap is poetry, but necessarily, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Not all poetry is rap, you know. And it's just like now, with music now, or what society, not everyone in society, but mainstream society agrees or considers as what's poppin', it's like I have to see where I stand and all that, you know. And it's not just music, just who I am, or whenever I pop out of my house. And where I am now, it's like, because it took me a while to realize certain things about myself, but once I realized them, I think I'm pretty much going to stick by them, you know? Like, me not trying to define myself too much based off things that people try to heap onto me, you know what I'm saying?
That's a big deal.
Yeah, so, but then through all of this, this searching, you know, and this figuring out and just doing life, you know, like, I kind of hit walls, you know, music-wise, you know, education-wise, you name it, you know, because when you're out here hustling, you going all the way. I mean, just me. That's just me. I like to do, when I do things, I go all the way. Like, I don't hold anything back. I just go in there, and then. So one thing that I refound, like I rediscovered about myself, was that even in the beginning, when I dropped my first song ever, even though I was rusty, but like I was a greenhorn, I was starting out, there was a certain agenda and a certain message that I was trying to get across with my music.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, I mean, I don't know if, because like, I don't know if now, like, because like I don't know if I don't know if I was getting it across the right way then, or if whatever the right way is, but it's like if you listen to my songs and every single song that I have out,
How many songs you got out now?
probably 8. I'm SoundCloud. It's just SoundCloud. And then we got some on Spotify, iTunes. I got one. Yeah.
Are you trying to put out any more?
Yeah, but you know, like, to be honest, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, things have happened in my life to where
The content has changed.
content's changed, prioritization is different. Like,
What's that?
you know, like,
So in the Kings of Hustle, I'm gonna interrupt. Kings of Hustle, you are the promotional person.
director, yeah.
So is that what you're passionate about? Promotion?
Yeah, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, but with Kings of the Hustle, actually, yeah, pertaining to Kings of the Hustle, what I told Law from the jump is that I'm trying to empower people. That's something I tried to do with my music, everything I did. Whenever I stop about, I'm trying to empower people, and it's like I can, whatever vice, or not vice, or whatever. What's that word for thing that you can use, like a channel? Like,
Medium?
yeah, medium. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Whatever medium best fits me being able to empower somebody, that's what I'm gonna rock with till the day that I pass. And bouncing from here to there, click to click, you know, I've been trying to find ways to empower people because that's what it was in the beginning for me. That's what it still is, and that's what it always will be.
That's good. That's good stuff.
And so far, I've been able, with Kings of the Hustle, I've been catching myself in situations where I've been given an opportunity to inspire somebody and empower somebody with all of me. Because certain times you can't give all of yourself. But with Kings of the Hustle, every time I've talked about Kings of the Hustle, I've been able to empower somebody to start their journey to become their greatest version.
That's good. That's good.
And being the promotional director, I may be promoting Kings of the Hustle, but
You feeling your purpose.
yeah, exactly. Like, in a sense, that's because this is just as much a journey for me as it is to whoever I'm talking to or whoever I'm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody has a part to play.
Yeah.
Everyone has a part to
That's-
play. Every
yeah.
joint 50 joint together supply the need. Everybody has a part to play in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, like Michael was, we call Michael the greatest. Well, I call Michael the greatest. You guys, I don't know. Y'all call Michael the greatest basketball player because I think Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player ever.
Mhm.
Someone before them might say Dr. J, but they could be the greatest player, but no, they cannot do it by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They always had to have a team, which brings me up to the conversation that we're going to be talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
So good one on that one. And being that you guys are all here, and you know we're all here talking. The thing I heard the last couple weeks, and even this week 3 times, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, do it together. And as Kings of Hustle, there's 3 of you guys. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 of you guys. You're working together. You clearly state the vision, make it plain. Other people can pick it up and run with it. That's facts. You made it plain. You got these two brothers here, right here with you. They ready to go. You know, this guy's passionate. He's passionate. You're passionate. Listen, the sky's the limit. Let's talk about doing things in the community. Let's talk about working together. Let's talk about the importance of actually doing things together. Now, you can do things, you know, by yourself. I'm by myself right now. and you know, I have to go back over here and do some little engineering. But I got a little small team. But I understand the value of doing things together and the importance of it. Let's talk about it.
Ha! If I may.
Yeah. Oh, wait, beforehand, let's give a shout out real quick. We also have our other teammate who's not here. Her name is Rachel. She's our queen of the hustle.
What's up, Queen? What's up?
This is our queens of the hustle.
Shouts out to you on the IGSS. All right, so go ahead, Mike.
You said I understand the value.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's that we don't come to understand the value of doing it with togetherness until we go at it alone. Until we're that lone wolf, or until we say that when we have the attitude, I don't need anyone, I got this, da da da. And so we try it by ourselves, and we struggle, and maybe we make it, or maybe we don't, but along the way, as people do begin to help us, we say, whoa, yeah, you know. But I think it takes us going at it alone to, again, understand the value of doing it together. Just an idea. I don't know.
I agree.
I 100% agree with that
100%
one.
agree with that. When you do it, listen. The great. I told y'all one story before the show, but like, if I could be honest with you, even after when I was working in Boston, we were 120 deep. Like my staff under me was 120 deep. We did some amazing things because we did things together. My team, I had 12 on my core team, and then everyone else was under them. So it was boom, boom, and then the rest of the 120. But we did things together, and we were able to accomplish a lot.
So I think the benefits of togetherness and doing things together is kind of obvious. What are the hidden things that we don't see that prevent us from what keeps us from asking someone for help? Is it our pride? Is it our arrogance? Is it our, what stops us from wanting to share this idea that we have? Do we fear someone will take it? What stops us? Or going back to the competition. I don't want to ask somebody for help because I'm going against this guy.
It's your survival instinct.
The survival stuff. So what are those things that keep us from the togetherness? I think we need to exploit that so that people could be like, "Ooh, yeah, that's a little bit of me in there. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I tend to do that. Yeah, Because if we just say yes, together, people will see the benefits, but they don't see what's keeping them from actually doing it.
I can tell you mine.
Tell it.
By all means,
It
let's
is
go.
fear. It is fear. Because fear, if I have a bunch of ideas, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I can, if I share this thing, you could take this and run with it. You might have the money and the resources that I don't have, so you can take it and run with it, right? So the fear of that, and then on top of that, the fear of conflict. Because when you share it and you're working as a team, there has to be healthy conflict. There has to be conflict. Whether it's healthy or not is what you make of the conflict. You feel me?
Right, right.
But conflict is a big deal because now you bring it when you if you're the lead or if you're on a team and you bring your idea, now you bring everyone else into the idea that you're bringing to the table, and they might disagree, they might agree. Your idea might become this. It might be this. But after you bring it to the table, now it's this.
Yeah.
It's not what you think. So that conflict, I think conflict and fear are a couple things on the reason why people don't do things together with other people.
Yeah. And part of that conflict, I think, is maybe a fear of rejection, too. What if they reject this idea?
Yeah.
It might be a wonderful idea, but I'm like, So you said for me, it's...
But then wouldn't that be a fear of failure? If that's coming out of it, if fear of rejection? Because in a sense, that whole fear, like if you're afraid to tell somebody your idea, it's that fear, it's the mistrust. You don't trust the other people.
Is it that you don't trust them or you don't trust yourself enough or your idea enough?
Those are two. I think those are two questions by itself. Because I think you just can't I think you can't separate them. Or you can't put them together. Those are two separate things.
Yeah.
You can trust yourself or you can trust them.
Right.
You got to figure out both of them, because sometimes you find out through the process you don't trust yourself.
Hello.
You don't trust yourself.
Yeah.
And then you have to now say, you got to coach yourself.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get over that and find out. That's another thing. Work with other people too. They find your flaws. And working with other people too, when they find your flaws, you have to be comfortable with your flaws. And sometimes knowing your flaws is big. Like,
Coming to terms with.
One of the best ways that I figured out finding out what your flaws were was like there's a quote that I've been taught throughout life is you're the top 5 people who you surround yourself with. Whatever qualities you don't like about the people who you surrounded with are the same qualities that you may have in you.
I don't even think it's may have. Absolutely. Because you wouldn't even be able to identify it if it wasn't in you. When a child sees someone that's angry and they don't know anger yet, they'll say, why are they so mad? Or they'll ask the parent, why are you mad, mommy? They don't even know, what. So when there's emotions that we don't even know or reactions that we don't know, we can't really identify them. But because we can label it and say, oh, this is that, it's because we've seen it within ourselves too. Otherwise, when they react, we'd be
And
like,
we wouldn't have,
right. We wouldn't know what's wrong with them. We'd be questioned. But because we can say, oh, that's what that is, it's because there's a little bit of it's absolutely in us too, or we wouldn't recognize it. But maybe part of the exposure, or not exposure, what word did I just say? When we expose those flaws, or when people around us expose our flaws, maybe that's the very reason people. So togetherness is almost like a relationship. Friendship is a relationship, and it's when you're when you're working closely with people, when your flaws and weaknesses are brought to the light. And so maybe that's another reason why people avoid not just they avoid relationships, but they avoid this working together thing, because they don't want their weaknesses exposed. They don't want their ego tramped upon. They don't, they don't want their bubble bursted. So they choose to stay, to themselves and try to do their own thing or whatever. But I think that's another reason why people avoid working together with people, is they don't want to be exposed.
yes.
And it's all ego, really. It's all our, like you said, it's just a form of fear. Whatever that fear is, for me, it might be fear of rejection. For Frank, it was, someone might run with my idea. Whatever form it comes in, it's still some kind of fear. If I don't trust my idea enough, some sort of fear. So how do we transcend, get past, get over the fear? Is it just a belief in your idea? Like you have to believe so strongly. And then being open to criticism.
Yeah, being open, for me, okay, I'm talking about me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize when people are pointing certain stuff out, sometimes people will tell you what they see. And it's not time to get offended by it.
Right.
These are facts. It's not. That's facts. Those are 5 people who said some of the same thing. So then I switched up. I said, "Oh snap! Let me put someone on my team who is good at this." So I have no flaws. Like I have no shame to tell people what are my flaws. I am not administratively strong at all. Okay, can I do it? Yes. I manage artists, so you got to be some type of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if I had an administrative team, when I found out that 5 people told me, I said, "Oh snap! I gotta find someone." I found 3 ladies, and they were like, lack of better term, they were like 3 pit bulls, They were extremely good, I was like, I looked up on this, so all 3 of them good?
Yeah.
And I was like, I need you for this, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do this. And all of them, I met with them once a week, each of them separately, had different tasks. I'm just unloading, they were like, before they left, they were on it. They were like, we got emails already out, we got this, that. I'm like, bingo.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But I
yeah.
identified it. I didn't get offended by it. I identified it, and then I said, okay, I'm not administrative strong. This is what people are saying. Great. Then I put someone in that position. Not everybody has the ability to do it, but you have to identify. You can't go around the mountain. You gotta go and
Identify. That's huge, man. It's either approach or avoid. What you gonna do?
Exactly. You gotta approach it.
You got it. But no, even the word identify is huge, man, because you can't fix a problem you can't see.
Exactly.
First step to solving the problem is realizing that there is one
Yeah.
in the first place.
Right.
And so even coming up with whether it was Kings of the Hustle or whether it was working, like I worked at a country club and I worked as a bartender there beforehand, and they actually allowed it for you if as long as you were like, I think the age was 19, and then beforehand I was a barista, but everything that I learned through there, my manager would be on me all the time. And I would wonder why in the beginning of it, because, I mean, at first I was just like, yo, you're just getting on me. No one else, you're not getting on anybody else about this. But eventually I looked at it and I was like, I actually had to sit down talk with him. I was like, why are you coming up to me like this? He's like, because you're the only one I can see actually going forward here.
Wow.
And that got to me to the point
Wow.
where I'm just like, okay, I really need to look at myself.
Wow.
What problems am I continuously causing? Do I apologize for the same thing twice? Because if that's the case, I'm not fixing the problem. I'm not facing the fear. I'm not growing myself. I feel like fear is what holds us back from growth.
Of course.
Because if we can't face whatever we're afraid of, telling people an idea, telling people, like talking to people, opening up to the criticism, we can't grow ourselves. Because they even say, in order for you to be successful, you must be willing to be uncomfortable. Criticism is never comfortable, ever. But it's something that's needed in order for you to grow. You can't learn without it.
Well, so if we go back to the question then, or the statement, and if you ask someone in today's generation, do you want to go fast or do you want to go far? What do you think their answer would be? If you take a young kid from an impoverished neighborhood and you ask him, young man, young woman, for your dream, do you want to get there fast or do you want to go far into your dream? They're going to want to go fast. We want what we want, and we want it now. People want to get there fast, especially when they see everyone else around them getting it, especially when they turn to social media and they see other people doing it, doing what they're doing. They want it fast. And so how do you shift, going back to the perception, how do you shift the perception to say, well, you can go further if you do it with people, if you shared this, if you brought people along with you. So how do we even begin to, and is it more important? Like, is it just a matter, is it all relative? Maybe it's not important for me to go far, to go further, you know? So how would we shift the perception, and does it even need to happen? If the person who wants to go fast and wants to go alone, should we disencourage them from doing that? Say, hey, no, man, you don't want to do it that way. You got to do it this way. Or should we say, hey, man, if you're a flower that wants to bloom on its own, have at it.
That's a good question, man.
It can go either way.
It can go either way. You guys.
It honestly can go either way. You can be the flower that blooms, or you could be the tree that covers it. You can decide whichever path you want to be on. If you want to move fast and you want to hit that goal or whatever you're trying to go after, by all means, you can go after it. You can get there quickly, but then what are you going to do once you get there? Are you going to move fast to the next goal? Are you going to move fast to the next dream? Do you even know if you can? And if so, you most likely have to meet somebody else along the way.
You do. No one's. You're not going to get anywhere. Listen, check.
Check it.
Yeah.
Pause.
No one's getting anywhere by themselves. I don't care who you are.
Hello.
There's always you're not even
Is
born.
where you're trying to get to worth getting there by yourself?
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You're not even getting. You didn't even get by yourself. Your mom and dad had to get together. Shut up. But we talk about it. You always will have people along the way help you no matter what.
Yeah.
You're right, you take this pen, someone made this pen. You take this paper, someone made this paper. You take this iPhone, someone created this iPhone. Not just Steve Jobs up top who created the iPhone or whoever's up top
The
with him.
kids in China.
But you have other people. Everywhere, there's
Mhm.
always going to be people together.
Mhm.
So look, if you want to go fast, it's okay. You said something about the flower. Here's the thing. Every season, the flower comes and it blooms. Then it loses its petals. Here's the thing. If you're going to go fast, you best believe the next season that comes, you got to be ready to be able to bloom. So you have to consistently work by yourself and hustle to be able to bloom every season.
Oof.
Is it possible? You are going to have to put some sweat in by yourself. But if you want to continue to last, it's possibly some of the longest trees, longest living trees are hundreds of thousands of years
Mhm.
old. Okay? In order to get that, you're going to have to dig deep.
Hello.
And you're gonna have to have more than one root.
Root. Hello.
Yeah, to be able to go
Wow.
high, and then you have
Wow.
different.
I hear
limbs,
you.
And then you
I hear
grow,
you.
and you have other things coming feed off of you.
Hello.
If you work together as a team,
Mhm.
that's how a team is gonna help you get rooted deeply,
Mhm.
so you can grow higher,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can bloom. But it takes you to be able to, identify what you want to do. Yeah. Fasting. If you want to go fast, it's possible.
This is why they want to go fast. Just so they could say this.
I did this.
I did this.
Mm.
I did this.
Mm.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Put some respect on my name.
Yeah.
I did this. They don't want to get nobody else the credit.
Oh, man.
I ain't got no team. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. No, I did this.
Mhm. I hear you.
But again, if you get there, they say people don't remember you for what you did, but how you made them feel.
Mhm.
So if I did this all by myself, I probably took a crap on most people on my way. I probably crapped on so many people and just undercut, all this stuff just so I can get this I did this feeling. But man, if I'm only looking down on my brother to lift him up, and I'm just lifting people along the way, woo! Not only do I go further, but why do I go further? Why? Because I have support? Because I have people rooting for me? Because I have a team? If I had to go out and build a ditch, and it's just me by myself where I can have a team go out with me,
You're gonna get it done faster, and you're gonna go farther than you've ever done.
that ditch might go from here to, you know what I mean?
My mother says that many hands make light work. And I'm buffering what you're saying about that whole ditch thing. So in my household, right, there's I'm gonna expose a little something right now. There's an issue with people cleaning up after themselves, right? Because you have a lot of people in your house, you know what I'm saying? Some are older, some are younger. There's an issue with people cleaning after themselves. And it's partly because, I don't know what it is. I can't speak on, what I'm saying? I'm not the person that's making a mess, But like, now what my mother's trying to do is she's trying to stress everybody helping out more to make the burden less, because that burden is there, the struggle at times is unavoidable, you know what I'm saying? But you can tackle the struggle by yourself, you know what I'm saying? Or you could tackle the struggle with a team, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like too, a lot of people are really saying, yeah, trying to do that, I did this thing, but they don't realize is that a team, even though conflict may arise, you know what I'm saying? There's unhealthy conflict and then there's healthy conflict. A team is so much, for me, in my honest opinion, you know what I'm saying? Certain things, you're right. You have to do them by yourself and get it. But like at the end of the day, if you have a team, you guys will figure out where one is lacking, and then when one is super, you know what I'm saying? And then you put that person there, the end result is inexplicable. It's the greatest. It's, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, it's just, I don't know. I'm a big fan of doing things together. You know, like now. Like there's no, like if I do something, if it's possible for me to do it with a right hand man or a left hand man, I'm going to do it, because it's like I realize that I myself am not capable, or like I may be capable, but it wouldn't be perfected, or what's another word? I don't know. Or like it wouldn't manifest with as much fruition or as much bloom as it would have had there been 2 or 3 more people.
Let me go back. Okay. Oh. So I was actually going to go back to what he was saying, was that if somebody was like, I made it here, then let me put out this example real quick. You were talking about LeBron James. For him to be the greatest.
Michael.
Michael Jordan.
My bad.
LeBron's still good. Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to you, Bron. I see you.
Either way, for them to be the greatest, they don't actually put it out there. They don't say that to the world, I am the greatest. They don't. But you know them to be the greatest. Why?
Actions.
From their actions. So yes, they worked on their own. They practiced on their own by themselves when they had the time. But they wouldn't have gotten the skills that they had without their team. Without growing with their team.
Even the coaches.
You learn throughout life. Whoever you are, it doesn't matter who you are.
Preach.
Say Martin Luther King. He's going out there giving speeches, but he wouldn't be anywhere without his team, without people backing him up.
Walking down
People
the
wouldn't be
streets,
inspired.
hand in hand.
Anybody
All the
who's
time.
been a 1%er on this earth,
Yes.
anybody who's been successful on this earth has never done it alone. The people who have been there and gotten there quickly, gotten to their success quickly, they didn't do it on their own either way.
Even Jesus had disciples.
Amen, brother.
When he started, what did he do? It's a straight thing he did. The first thing he came on the 40 days of fasting. Straight, he said, "Hey, you want to? Let me teach you something real quick."
Follow me. That's all he said. He would just say, follow me.
I will make you fishers of men.
If you are going after your dreams, if you are going after success, I mean, yes, you could go on your own. You could go fast, but still, you're not going to be doing it on your own. You still got to figure out what the dream is. That on your own, you figure out your passion. You can't, yes, it's possible for you to figure it out on your own. It's possible. But in truth, through the experiences that you have with other people, whether it be your team, your coaches, your teachers, doesn't matter who it is. That's how you figure it out. That's how you reach the pinnacle of success, and that's how you're going to take it a step further and grow and evolve yourself. The greats weren't the greats without anybody else.
People. That's what's up. I'm gonna interrupt you. I'll say this. I got somebody waiting. So I gotta talk to you guys real quick on this right here. Cash Money. You said something about put some respect in my name earlier. Just doing some research on them. The lady who helped them out, Cash Money out. Her name is Wendy Day. She made the first investment in helping Cash Money get to where they are right now. Okay, Wendy Day. We don't know Wendy Day. We know Lil Wayne. We know Drake. We know Nicki Minaj. You know Baby. We don't know Wendy Day. This is what Cash Money and David Banner. She helped David Banner get out there. I want to say J. Cole. This, and I want to say even another rapper. Anyway, Chance. This lady Wendy Day. All those guys that I named, they realized that I need help to really make this happen. The whole independent artist really, there's no really independent artist. What it is that I had someone to come give me some wisdom and some knowledge so I can go off of. And what I realized is in life, it's better to do it together than do it alone. And so I if you do it by yourself, kudos to you. I want to learn some lessons. Hit us up. Let's talk. But if you've done it together, I think that we've all learned and we all can throw a whole lot more out to be able to say how much we've learned and see the value in doing it together.
And even in saying that and doing it alone, how does that, even if you pass on that wisdom, how does that help benefit the community? How does that help benefit the world?
Yeah.
If that means everyone's just going to be out for self, doing for self, self-seeking. So I don't even know if I want advice from that guy. You know, kudos to you, my hat's off.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from the guy who brought so many people with him. Man, how you do that, bro?
I'm the same way.
And so, if we're talking about make a difference in the world, your tiny accomplishment that you pat yourself on the back for, you might make a stamp in your own mind, but what ripple effect have you sent out into the world? So, if we're talking about going back to the community, specifically the black community, we've been talking togetherness for how long? Centuries, that our people.
Right.
Our people.
Right.
I don't even think we have a sense of our people. What people do we belong to? African American. So we do these Ancestry.com and DNA things and try to find ourselves and all this,
A
but
bomb just got dropped.
but we don't work together because we don't have an identity.
Right.
What's our identity? Our identity is our individual name. And as long as we don't have a collective name, you know, the people from Japan, Japanese, people from Germany, they're Germans, you know, black, Blackanese, what are you? You blackish, whatever. so we don't really, we have a color, we don't have a nation, we don't have an identity. What can we be proud of? We have the martyrs and those who came before us who stood for something. But what do we stand for now? So if we have this idea of I'm gonna do me, I'm grinding, I gotta do this by myself, then we're doing nothing to make what our people did fight for true today, a reality today, together today. So it's a cycle of the same. You said you're here to break cycles. We got these cycles of lost identities, cycles of generational poverty, cycles of generational I can't do anything, you ain't gonna be nothing because your daddy ain't nothing type. We got problems. So if we can, I say, going back to that question of is it important to shift the perception from trying to go fast to going further together, I say it's absolutely a shift that has to happen right now.
That's good.
Right now, because the collective consciousness will not change until together as a unit, until the conversations that we're having in our own homes at the dinner table with our families change. What are we talking about? Real Housewives of Atlanta or something like that? Nah. We need to be talking about what's going on, what we can do, how we can serve. You know, how many conversations are happening like that in inner city communities?
That's not many. That's why we have to. My favorite word, I put it up like every other day, is create. How are we creating for our culture and our families right now?
Right now.
Like, I have to create, like, you know, like for my family and the culture. And if I don't create, then I can't blame anybody from the outside of what's not happening.
Right.
I have to do it. You know what I'm saying? I have to do it. So I create. That's what I do. Like, you have to do that for our culture and our community in the city. You gotta go create.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity.
Yeah.
And help them to see some things a little bit different.
Yeah.
Perception.
Yeah.
Like, let me teach you something really quick. Something outside. Black people don't go camping. Why not?
Right.
Let's go.
Right.
You
Let's
don't
go.
know
Let's
until you
go.
experience it.
I've
been camping.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
It's
know.
a great
Those things
time.
like that. Like, let's challenge the status quo. Let's challenge some things to help everybody kind of see some things different.
And then who? Right
Yeah.
here. Right here.
Create, exactly.
Because it's not going to grow, bro.
Rap music. Let's take this thing. Okay,
It's not gonna
let's
grow,
explore
bro.
music all together. Why can't we just play more than? Can we play more than? Can we play more than just the drums? Can we do? Why don't you pick up that oboe? Oboe.
Right.
That's when music started. Letting everybody kind of get a taste of teaching, creating them, and giving them an opportunity.
You ever
to
you
taste
heard
things
Old Town Road yet? I take my horse to the Old Town
Yeah.
Road. People were giving him
a lot of slack. They took it off the country
off the
charts.
charts,
Yeah.
bro, and it was like that was happening, and then it's a battle.
Yeah.
This has to keep happening. Like we
But it's a new version.
can't let up. I mean,
We can't.
You're right. We got it now. Like
Y'all keep on talking.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
But
It's
let-
just a new
like-
version of it's a new version of music. It's a new creation.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said before, for us, our mission as the Kings of the Hustle is empowering the minds of the willing for the creation
what?
of greater opportunity.
You know what? To empower a mind, sometimes it must first be renewed.
Mm-hmm.
We must first renew the mind,
Right,
and
wow.
in that renewal is the empowerment. Because we can't empower a mind that is still thinking in the same conditioned way that it's been thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It won't work.
Will not be transformed.
It will not be transformed. So to empower a mind, because what are we doing when we shift? We talk about shifting of perception. What are we doing when we change our mind? Sometimes a change can be considered a renewal, because I'm saying I'm changing the way I think, and I'm not going to think that way anymore. I'm not going to think that way about myself anymore. I'm not going to think that way about my community anymore, my people anymore. That's renewing ourselves in a way. Renewing our mind, renewing our purpose, repurposing ourselves. So I think when we think about empowerment, we also have to think about renewing our minds and being open to think differently. Sometimes if we just say to the universe, whatever problem that comes up, whatever circumstance, whatever hardship, whatever thing someone did to anger us or frustrate us or make us impatient, if we say right there in that moment, I'm willing to see this differently. I'm willing to see this another way. A door opens. and through that door is a doorway out of the anger, out of the impatience, out of the frustration. But it's having that awareness that we have a choice to see things differently. And so going back to do I want to go fast or do I want to go further? Maybe no one's taught me or even told me that I could go further with others. But now bringing that to my consciousness, again, a door opens, a doorway to thinking differently. Now I'm empowered because I can think differently. How can we be taught to think? Can we be taught to think?
And how is that presented? Man, we can go so.
I think that's a good question that we can ask, but we can save that for later. So we actually got to go ahead and wrap this whole thing up. Thank you guys so much for checking us out on the Hustlecast. Be sure to check us out for next Saturday, and be sure to check us out on YouTube at the Hustlecast or on Instagram at Kings of the Hustle. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you later.
Peace.
Peace.
And thank you guys for coming to our show again. This is IGSS. I got something to say. And listen, before we get off on my show, I have to do this. I know y'all still here. Frank the host here. Love you guys. And make sure you guys follow them and pick up all their stuff. So do me a favor. Every time someone comes to the show, if you don't rap, you gotta say this one thing. I got something to say. So on the count of three, everyone's gotta say, I got something to say. Okay? Y'all do that
Let's
for
do
me?
it.
Yeah, for
1,
sure.
2, 3.
I got something to say.
That's what I'm talking about. That's Frank the host. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace. Don't want to tell you. I want to tell you. I
Thank you
love
so much.
Thank you.